Good evening, everybody. I hope you're ready for another exciting week you're going for. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Go ahead and share my screen. Let's look at some charts. See what we have in store for the upcoming week. All right. All right, let's start. All right, last week, SPY and NASDAQ both closed negative for the month. The Qs posted the worst month since 2008. So that's pretty bad. We haven't seen this kind of loss since years now. So on Friday, let's start with SPY, closed at 412, a few points shy from the March 2022 lows at 410.65. I would watch this as our next big level for upcoming week. If we do close or break that level, we're gonna flush it down to 400 easily. We do have a gap fill over there from April 2021. So this is the SPY chart right here. As you can see, the 1064, 410.64 is your March lows. So I will be definitely closely be watching that level. And right now the futures are slightly green, but if we see any bounce close to 416 tomorrow, because that was your previous small support holding previously since March. So let's see if we can get above that. Even if we get above that, I'm not expecting too much on the upside unless the FOMC is going to surprise us. So one more thing to watch this week is the FOMC. We have a rate decision on Wednesday at 2 p.m. EST. So I would definitely be keeping my eyes and ears open for that one. The consensus are 50.50% on that one. So anything more than that, we're gonna flush down really hard, or anything less than that, if they say 0.25, which I highly doubt, that would be a great surprise. We will see a nice rally to the upside temporarily. So definitely keeping my eyes open for that. Until then, I will be playing very small. Unless we break this 410 level, there is no reason to be bullish on that one, because we are going for this gap fill. As you can see, this pink box right here, this is from the April last year. So we have to fill this gap still. But I would definitely cautiously start my longs at this spot for sure. Let's go look at the tech world. On the tech world, the Qs already broke the March lows, which was at 317.45. If you guys can remember from last week, I kept screaming about that level. We want to go short below that, and here we are. We had a nice flush below that. Again, on the daily, we are seeing this thin line is your 9 EMA. All right, this is your 9 EMA at 326.35. That still stands as your resistance. As you can see, we cannot get above that. So until and unless we get above that and close above that, I am not going to swing any kind of long calls on this one. I will play any kind of small bounces for daily scalps, but nothing swing wise. So tomorrow, the levels on the Qs I'll be watching is 315, which was your Thursday's lows, which we broke on Friday. Wednesday's lows, which we broke on Friday. So I'll be watching 315 and definitely 317.45, because that was your major support from March 2021. 2022, sorry. So these are the two levels I'll watch. We do have a small support here on the downside at 311. I was looking a little bit in the back on the weekly chart. We do have a small support around here, but nothing to be, going heavy on. So I would watch 311 for a small support. If that breaks, you can see there's barely anything. We are going to go all the way down to 303.50 easily. That is your daily support right here, which we have bounced quite a few times previously. So I would watch that level next on the Qs if we break 311. So I would go for the May puts on this one because your VIX is high. You're gonna, you don't want to burn premium if it's gonna chop around. So definitely watch these levels. Next thing I'm going to watch this week is Tesla for sure. Tesla, as we all know that Elon sold some shares last week. We did not see too big of a reaction on Friday on this one. I was really expecting this one to go all the way down to 850, but this one made its move at the end of the day in the last 30 minutes, which, Tesla is known for after some kind of news comes in like this. So right now we have a resistance at 200 SMA, which is your purple line right here, which is at 904.18 currently as of Friday. Tomorrow we might see a slight change on that number. So just keep an eye on that one. Anything bounces, close to that in 900s, that would be my short. And I would be keeping an eye on the daily candle. If it closes above 904, I will close my short, but any bounce close to that, I am going to go ahead and short for 2 weeks out, 850 puts. But again, I don't see how this is going to go up because I think a lot of people are mad at this. So the next support I'm watching is 855 on this one, which is also your weekly 50 SMA. Very close to that right here. This is your blue thick line. That is your 50 SMA on weekly, which is at 853. So definitely worth keeping an eye on it. We did bounce above that, but if we go below that, the next level is 821 on Tesla. So that's something I'll be eyeing on that. And the next one I'm watching is Microsoft. Microsoft, I think, might be setting up for any bounce sell. Right now, we are below this 90 EMA, which we were holding this trend. If you look at this your thin blue line is your 90 EMA again. We are holding below that right pre-ER. After ER, we did bounce above that temporarily, but now we are back below that. So we are back in that trend where any bounce close to 90 EMA is going to be a short. So right now, your 90 EMA is at 291. Jesus, 281.90. So I'm going to keep my alert right close to that, around 281.90. So if it comes over there, I will add shorts unless we have some kind of news. But I will short right here, 2 weeks out. And eventually my target is 870 on this one, which would be your triple bottom as well. And I will see if it wants to break. If it breaks, this is going to 263. I am watching text this week for sure. This is your NVIDIA. NVIDIA still hasn't had the ER yet, but it is coming really, really close to this 100 SMA on weekly. I will be definitely keeping an eye on that 180 magic number on NVIDIA. If it breaks 180 and the momentum in the market is bearish, I think NVIDIA can pay you really nicely because there's barely any support till 160s on this one. So you can definitely bank on this one. I would definitely set my stop right on this weekly SMA, which is your 100 SMA on weekly, crossing down alert. And I'm going to name this as a short till 160s. So my alert is set on this one. And the next one I'll be watching is Baba. Baba on Friday had a nice gap up, of course, because there was a news from China, and they're easing on these tech sector over there. So all the tech had a nice bounce on the Chinese stocks. So tomorrow I'll definitely be watching if it breaks below Friday's lows, which was 96.66. So I'm going to send it right here, 96.60. Add alert, crossing down, short. Why? Because this will give you a nice gap fill right here. There's a huge gap on this one all the way down to 87 area. So I would definitely short this one if it breaks below 96. Baba can pay you really nicely, but I also want you to keep this as a day trade because they have a ER coming on May of 6th. So the premiums might be a little costly, but it's worth playing. The next one, again, I'm keeping this one in the radar too. We have talked about this one before, and I hope you guys played this one, is your coin. Coin is making 52-week lows here on every single bounce. It's a sell right now. This is your 9 EMA again. Look at this trend, guys. Every time it comes close to this 9 EMA, it sells off. So coin has a tendency to open green and then slowly all day long, it, drifts down. So keep an eye on this one. Any bounce close to 125, if we get that, I don't see that big of a bounce tomorrow looking at the futures, but if we do get a bounce close to this 9 EMA around 125 to 128, I would short this 2 weeks out. They also have ER coming up, but I don't think they're going to do too well. This one is headed back down quite a bit. And if you look at the weekly, the next support I have is at 104 and then all the way down to 79.46 area. So this is a big short. The other one I'm eyeing is Etsy. With all the e-commerce doing horrible, I don't think Etsy is going to survive this storm either. It is already breaking through my support at 96.30. So any bounce again on this one, look at this, 9 EMA, guys. Put that on your chart. It is touching that and it is rejecting. 9 EMA rejections on this one are pretty clean. So any bounce close to 9 EMA on this one, I am going to set it, no matter ER or no ER. I am going to short this one. And I think their ER is going to be pretty bad as well. If you look at weekly, this was the COVID stock again. It ran during COVID. Look at this. This one is going all the way down to 70s. I know it's a lot, but you will see this go down all the way to 70s. So this is your area, my last target. You might see some kind of bounce over here, but eventually this one is headed over here with a small stop at 88. So if you day trade this one at a break of Friday's lows, I would definitely short this one because this one is headed to 88. So anything break below 92.80 area, go ahead and short this and enjoy this 4-point drop. It'll be a quick day trade. So while you're waiting for the trades for the FOMC, these stocks can easily pay you. Either that, or if it bounced to 96.30 area, I will short right here as well. So crossing up, short, and my alert is created, it'll pop. So these are the two levels I'm watching on Etsy. Either I see 96.30 tomorrow to short, or if it breaks below 92.80 and I short till 88. But if it comes to 96, it'll be a nice short because this is what it's going to do. It comes here, and then from here all the way goes to 88. I have a next support. That's where I have my next support right here at 88. So definitely keep an eye on Etsy tomorrow. The next one I'll be watching is Apple. Apple ER is done, and I'm finally ready to short this sucker because this one is holding very strong. And this one needs a nice haircut because all the techs have had a nice haircut. No doubt they had a great ER, but we got to go with the overall market sentiment. And right now it is below this 200 SMA after the ER. And your 200 SMA right now is at 159.30. So any bounce close to 159 to 160 is a short on this one with a stop above 160 close on the daily candle. So wait till end of the day and see if it closes above 160. If it does not, it's a short. Just write it, go month out puts on this one, 150. Eventually my target on this one is 150. There is a decent support here around 156.40 area. If that breaks, it's a nice ride down all the way to 150, which is your March lows. So I do expect this one to hold 150 short term. We might see a bounce easily at 150. There's a decent area of consolidation from previously. If you look at it right here, decent area. So there are two options on Apple. Either you get a bounce up to 160 area, 159 to 160, and you short right there, or if we break 156.40 area. So there are two possibilities depending on the market conditions tomorrow. We'll see what it gives us and we'll play accordingly. Either this or go to 200 SMA. Which is your purple line. And the last but not least, I am watching my Amazon. Now, please ignore these lines. These are my daily lines for the scalps. So I do like to keep it for the future reference, but I want to show you this monthly chart on Amazon. Amazon has not seen this kind of drop since 2006, guys, 2006. So that's pretty bad. Amazon was down, what, about 14% on Friday? Pretty bad, but look where it bounced. We saw a bounce right at this 50 SMA. It did the undercut, trapped the bears, and it closed above the 50 SMA on monthly. That's a pretty big line now. Hedge funds and everybody look for these kind of bounces. So keep an eye on this 50 SMA on Amazon monthly chart, which is at 2456. That's the line you want to keep an eye on. So if that breaks again, say goodbye to Amazon. So 2456 is where we are going to keep an eye on Amazon. I'm going to go ahead and set my alert right about there. If that breaks, I'm going to short this because this one is headed. I would go month outputs on this one for 2200 and keep my stop right above this line. So the next line on Amazon, my target is 2250 area. So that's the line I'm watching. If it breaks below this 50 SMA on monthly again. So this is, again, a very nice trade, guys. If you guys want to take this one below this, 2456, all the way down to 2250. That's 200 points. Go a month out expiration on this one, easy win. Or unless, we get a bounce up to 2800, which it's highly unlikely on this one right now. All right, this is what I have for my list for this week. If you guys have any requests, we can go ahead and look at it real quick and call it a night. Shoot me a request. All right, looks like we have no request for tonight. Hut and Intel. All right, let's look at Hut. Hut is definitely bearish here. As you can see, again, it's riding this 9 EMA down. I won't be, and this daily candle looks pretty bad as well. If we break below 350 again, we're going to see 320 area. and then below it's a flush. There's barely any support here. You'll see it at 270. It has to get above 4 for me to consider going long on this one, and even above 4, the next resistance I have is around 430 and then 450 area. Intel, oh my, INTC. INTC had an ER and had a sell-off. Looks like we had a bounce previously here at 4350 area. Let's look at the longer time frame on this one a little bit. So yes, it is at a spot where it can bounce, but below 4350 looks pretty bad. I would go ahead and short this if it breaks below. There are daily wicks on weekly wicks on this one. So below 4250, this one is dead, and this one is going all the way to 38. So below 4250, I would short this one, and above 4360, I would long this one for a bounce up to 4670 area. Again, it is riding this 90 EMA on weekly as well. CLF. CLF broke below 2650, which triggered our stop loss. We did take gains on this one. We were out on this one, but it did break the support at 2650, and it is headed all the way down to this 100 SMA, looks like, which is also your next support around 24. So tomorrow you might see a bounce up to 2650 area, but that's where I was short again, because that was your previous resistance, a big resistance. So 2650 area would be a short again. And if you're still long, I would cut my losses over there and get over for a next trade. Crowd. Crowd is holding on to this 50 retrace right now at 198. But it does look pretty bearish, guys. Again, if you look at the trend, it is down. So it is rejecting this trend line. So any bounce close to this one, I would actually play this one too. When is their ER? Is their ER done? No. Their ER is on 3rd of June. But if it breaks below this 100 SMA, it's going to get pretty nasty on this one. I would watch 196 level as your next support on crowd. Below that, it's going to head back down to 188 area, 188.70, which is a good possibility it would bounce because this is your golden zone to fibs. I would expect a bounce on that one. But below 196, I would go ahead and short it. I might short it too, actually. I already have my alert set on this one, looks like. Yep. Or if you get a bounce all the way up to this area in 200s, 205 to 207 area, I would go ahead and short it because the trend is down on this one. Cost. Oh my, cost. Wow. I would expect a bounce on cost right here. It is at a nice fib zone and a nice support area at 530. Would expect a bounce on this one tomorrow, at least up to 245 to 247 area. You can see a definite bounce, but it needs to hold 530. Below 530, it can get ugly and go all the way down to 510. So watch 530 level. Below that, it's a short. I might actually play this one too if it gets below this. But the golden number on this one is 530 and bounce up to 547 area. My God, cost had a bad day. 30 bucks. Sheesh. Next one is VLO. Valero Energy looks pretty good, but I would like to see this one hold 111. Right now, if you can look at the trend, of course, it's on the upside because it's riding this 9 EMA. Just like, guys, we look on the downside, it's riding the 9 EMA to the downside. Look at this Valero. It is holding this 9 EMA to the upside. So as long as this 9 EMA holds, I would stay bullish on this one. And right now, the 9 EMA is around 108 area, 108.17. We do see slight changes as the day goes on. So I would look at 108 as your support. I would like to see that one hold. So I would stay bullish on this one as long as 108 holds. The next one is CBX. CBX broke below 50 SMA and I do not like it. This almost kind of looks like it's building a bear flag right now. Look at it, this is a bear flag. Sorry for my drawing, but definitely it's a bear flag. If it breaks 155, it's a short all the way down to 140s. Because if this breaks right here again, it's headed right about this zone. It needs to invalidate this. To invalidate this bear flag, it needs to get above 163 and break above and go up again. So 155 and 163 are your numbers to watch on CVX. ET. ET looks like a short on any bounce right now. Definitely on a downtrend. So any bounce close to 1130 area, it's a short, and a break below 11, it's going to head back down to 1080 area and about 1070 area, which is your 50 SMA. You can see it has bounced previously on this one. So any bounce close to 1130 area, it's a short. To invalidate this, it needs to close above 1130. Next is Wing. Oh my, this looks pretty bad. Again, look at this, guys. 9 EMA, write it down all the way down. It has not closed above that. So I'm going to look on a bigger time frame here. Weekly looks pretty bad too. This one actually broke the support around 101 area, and it's going to your next support zone around 80. I would look at this one going all the way to 80. They do have an ER coming up. Not sure how they're going to announce. It's on May 4th. So till and then, it's below this 9 EMA, which is at 99.20 area. It doesn't close above that. Of course, the ER trumps the technicals. So it all depends on what they do on ER. But 88 would be my zone. 80 area is what we looked at. Yeah, 80. 80 is your next support on this one if they do bad on ER. Do you think we will be in bear market for 3 months? Is it sound over exaggerated? Sarah, we are in a bear market right now. Every rally is being sold. We have broken every single support, even from previous March. So yes, there's a good possibility we do stay down unless, Fed comes out and says, we're going to take a break and, let the market chill for a little bit, and the inflation is slowly coming down. So we need some kind of good news to see, some kind of bounce here. Otherwise, yes, definitely, we can see it down. Again, the VIX is coming close to a point where it can reject. I'm watching 34 and 39 level on that one on VIX. So those are the two levels I'll be closely watching too for the overall market. But yes, we do have a more downside, definitely looking at the bigger picture here. Qs are below 100 SMA, which, gosh, it was a long time ago in 2020. Once we broke below that, but we did bounce the next week. So we do want to see any, some kind of good news to invalidate this. But yes, I can see it happening, being in the bear market for 3 months, to answer your question. All right, the last two I'm going to look at it is LNTH. LNTH looks good. Your support is at 6150, a bigger support, and you have a resistance at 69.69. But if it breaks below 65.50 again, I will definitely be expecting 61.50 soon. So those are your two magic numbers to keep an eye on. 65.50 breaks, you will see 61.50. And you will see some kind of rejection here at 69.69. It won't get above this easily. CYN. What are these? Haven't even seen this before. Oh, there's definitely a congestion here on CYN at this zone at 590 area. It needs to get above and close above 6 for more upside, but right after that you have a next resistance at 680 area. But break below 5 again, you will see some more downside on this one around 430. But this one is overextended. If you look at it on the daily, the RSI is screaming overbought. The volume is decreasing on this one. There was little volume, not as much as the previous one. So I expect this rally to be sold around 590 if it gets there. All right, guys, this is all I have for tonight. Hope you guys have a good week next week. Stay safe. And also remember, again, just a reminder, we have a FOMC on Wednesday at 2 p.m. EST. So play small, play smart. All right, guys, have a good one.